Case File TR6612. Classification: Acoustic anomaly with missing persons correlation. Location: Harrowfield, Pennsylvania. Field by Regional Coordinator Ellison Navas. Status: Open. Unresolved. The Harrowfield Community Church was decommissioned in 1984 after the steeple was struck by lightning during a service. 3 parishioners died. The bell, a 600-pound bronze casting from 1903, cracked down the center. The tower was sealed with cinder block. The congregation disbanded. For 40 years, the bell did not ring. On March 3rd of this year, at exactly 3:17 a.m., the bell rang. Residents on Maple Street reported a single, clear toll. The kind of sound that doesn't come from a recording or a speaker. It had weight. It had resonance. It rattled windows in their frames. Dogs in a 3-block radius began howling and did not stop for 11 minutes. The first caller to the sheriff's office was Margaret Linden, age 74, who had lived across from the church her entire life. She said, and I'm quoting from the dispatch transcript here, "That bell hasn't made a sound since the lightning. I heard it crack. I heard it die." What rang tonight was not that bell. It was something pretending to be that bell. Deputy Aaron Thiel was dispatched. He arrived at the church at 3:31 a.m. The cinder block wall was intact. The chains on the door had not been disturbed. He reported hearing nothing. He left at 3:38 a.m. The next morning, a man named Gerald Poole did not arrive for his shift at the Harrowfield post office. His wife said he'd gone to bed at 10 p.m. His car was in the driveway. His shoes were by the door. His phone was on the nightstand. Gerald Poole was simply not in the house. The bell rang again the following night, March 4th, 3:17 a.m. Same single toll, same duration. This time, Margaret Linden recorded it on her phone. The audio file, Exhibit A in this case, shows a waveform that shouldn't be possible for a cracked bell. The frequency is clean. Too clean, as if the crack in the bronze doesn't exist. When the audio was analyzed by Dr. Yoon-So Park at the University of Pittsburgh's Acoustic Laboratory, she found something that made her call us directly. Embedded in the bell's resonance, at a frequency below human hearing, was a pattern. It was a voice, repeating the same phrase over and over, layered beneath the toll like sediment beneath a river. The phrase was, "One more, one more, one more." That morning, another resident was gone. Patricia Langley, age 31. Same circumstances. In her home, belongings present. No sign of forced entry. No sign of anything at all. By the 5th night, the town had organized a watch. 12 volunteers positioned around the church, with cameras, thermal sensors, and audio equipment provided by the county. They were ready. At 3:17 a.m., the bell rang. Every camera recorded static. Every thermal sensor flatlined. not to zero, but to a reading the equipment wasn't designed to display. A temperature of negative 273.15 degrees Celsius. Absolute zero. For exactly 4 seconds. Then everything resumed as normal. 2 of the 12 volunteers were missing by morning. Their chairs were still warm. One of them had been holding a thermos of coffee. It was found on the ground, still upright, still steaming. I arrived in Harrowfield on March 9th. The population had dropped from 4,200 to 3,912. Not everyone who was missing had been reported. Some had simply left, unable to explain why they felt the town was no longer theirs. But 23 people were genuinely unaccounted for. No bodies, no trails, no explanations. I visited the church at night. Alone. I know that's against protocol. I sat on the ground outside the sealed tower, and I waited. At 3:17 a.m., the bell rang. I didn't hear it with my ears. I felt it in my chest, in the place between my ribs where your heartbeat sits. It was warm. It was almost gentle. And for a moment, just a moment, I understood why the people of Harrowfield weren't more afraid. It didn't feel like something was being taken. It felt like something was being invited. I recorded everything. My equipment functioned perfectly. When I reviewed the audio later, there was nothing. No bell, no resonance, no voice beneath the sound. Just silence. And the faint hum of my own recorder's motor. Margaret Linden was gone by morning. This case file remains open. The bell continues to ring. The population of Harrowfield is now 3,104 and falling. No one has been found. No one has tried to leave. I want to be clear about what I believe is happening here, even if the terminology is outside standard protocol. I don't think the bell is ringing. I think the absence of the bell, the 40 years of silence, created a kind of wound in the town. A place where sound should have been and wasn't. And something found that wound. Something that lives in the space between what is present and what is missing. The voice in the audio, one more, is not a threat. It's a count. It's counting down or up. I'm not sure to what. What I am sure of is this. The people of Harrowfield are not being taken against their will. They are going to the bell. They are answering it. And whatever is on the other side of that cracked bronze is something they find more compelling than everything they've left behind. I've recommended that the church be demolished. The request was denied. The town council voted unanimously to leave the tower standing. When I asked why, the council chair, a woman named Diane Pruitt, looked at me with an expression I've only seen once before, in a photograph taken inside a hospice room, on the face of someone who had just been told they were dying and had decided not to be afraid. She said, "Because it's the only thing in this town that still sounds like it's alive. I am filing this case as unresolved. I am recommending no further action. I am also recommending that I not be assigned to Harrowfield again. There are nights, and I want this on the record, there are nights when I still feel it. That warmth between my ribs, that gentle toll, that wasn't a sound, but a presence. I don't think it stops ringing. I think it just gets quiet enough that you stop noticing. Until you don't. End of file.